Hey guys, it's Jeannette. I hope you're all doing well. Good morning. Uh, it's exam 1 in Pharm today, so I'll be vlogging and just kind of sharing with y'all how it goes. Yeah. My anxiety, it's okay. It's okay. I am just anxious to get through it. A couple things that are different with this class is that I only have less than an hour, I guess maybe an hour, to get through 50 questions versus like in Patho we had 65 questions and up to 3 hours to test. So that is really nerve-wracking because I am a slow tester. I reread everything at least 3 times. So I really need to stay focused and get through it. I don't want the test to time out on me. So I'll share later how I prepared for it. We'll see if that's effective or not. And I'm just excited to get exam 1 over with. To be perfectly honest, it's like, it's here. Obviously with exam 1, you're trying to figure out how the questions are, how are the teachers, etc. So yeah, I hope I do well. Are you gonna wish mommy good luck? Yeah. 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 Wait, hooray! Are we celebrating mommy's passing grade? Yeah. Thank you. So, just overall how I prepared. So I listened to the lectures. I did the whole, download the PowerPoint, print it on either 1 or 2 pages. This time around, they utilized the notes section, so I had to print each page by itself, which is a bummer. And some of the pages I actually just did 2 slides per page, and I just kind of kept using my my iPad to read the notes underneath, because I think I went through an entire whole new pack of ink in just all the content for the first exam. So I did that. I took my notes, listened to the lecture, printed my notes, and then I listened to the lecture again and added any extra notes that I forgot. And then it wasn't until maybe Monday or Tuesday, and today is Friday, that I started kind of really trying to learn the drugs. I thought I was getting a lot from like reading and writing notes and doing some flashcards here and there, but then my study buddy started to meet on Tuesday and she was asking me questions, and I'm like, I have no idea what drug class that's in. I don't know what that's for, and I started to freak out. So I actually had to, I think, cut one of our study sessions short. I think that was a Tuesday study session, because I realized that I was not ready to be quizzed. And I felt bad, like, because I do shut down and I do start to freak out, and then I'm not trying to waste her time either. So it's like I need to spend some quality time with the material in order to be able to be productive in the quizzing and helping us kind of get it together. So I had to cut that study session short, and I went home, well, I think to Starbucks, and just literally started from the first drug to the end, just spending more quality time, talking out loud and all of that. So that seemed to help. Like I mentioned, I had to cut that study session short. I felt better when I was studying alone and just kind of really drilling myself. So sometimes studying works together well, and sometimes it doesn't. I knew that because I didn't know the material on my own, it was just causing me more frustration. And then, to be perfectly honest, I'm like, she knows all of this and I don't, and now I'm freaking out. And so I ended up just from Tuesday on, I was studying on my own, and I think I'm doing much better. So a couple things that I did after all of that. We have a study group, or just all the members from the class in a group me group. I don't know if you have used it. And what we end up doing is we'll start quizzing. So just texting back and forth. I mean, and these like groups can send out a like couple hundred text messages quick. So everyone, whoever is studying at that moment, can either reply or ask a question, and then you have a couple people asking questions, so it's making you think. So for instance, I'll say, okay, patients post-op unable to void, what medication would you prescribe? And then they would say, let's say, botanical. And then if anyone else was going to say botanical, there's a little heart, like the Instagram like, and that's how they would have like supported that answer. And so we keep going back and forth, and we try to obviously hit all the key points. And then if there's something that we're not too sure about, then we'll say, hey, how do you remember that? Or hey, can you clarify this if there's a question in there that is causing someone issues? So sometimes I'm hoping I recall like answers from just chatting or having that discussion. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that's someone I think used Beth. Well, I think I was remembering Beth, you can pee because it's botanical uracil. So I said that, and I'm hoping that'll help someone who, let's say, was having issues understanding, remember one, what's botanical for, and then two, how it works, why you're prescribing it. So a lot of the questions, how I told y'all, you have to change into a practitioner role. So instead of me saying, okay, I'm going to give this drug for this, I'll say I'm going to prescribe this drug for this. When I prescribe it, I need to monitor to make sure this is not occurring. So that's, other like contraindications or maybe adverse drug reactions. So it gets me just in that zone. Does that make sense? So on top of the quizzing that we did, obviously one-on-one, I did have some flashcards I started to do, and I would put the drug name on there, and whenever I was drilling myself, if I missed, let's say, the entire adverse drug reactions because I couldn't think of them, then that's what I actually will put on the back of my card. So instead of putting everything else that I did know, which is not really studying smarter since I don't have the time to write all of that, I'm writing down the things that I keep forgetting. Does that make sense? So I thought that was really helpful this time around. I hope that it is. We'll see today. So I started to do some flashcards like that. At first they were empty, and then I was like, I need a way to learn certain things that I keep forgetting on this med. So then I ended up flipping them around and just writing the top missed stuff that I kept missing. And so whenever I do look at the flashcards, I'm like, okay, yeah. And so that's helped to kind of complete my drug card in my head. Yes. Let's see. What else? I really didn't utilize much of the YouTube videos this time around, just because my instructor was like a little specific on certain things that she did want you to know and what she didn't want you to know at this point. So she is kind of building our knowledge, our foundation, and some of the information out there and the extra resources are kind of overkill. So I kind of just stuck to the PowerPoint. To be perfectly honest, everyone is saying that the exam with pharmacology is like black or white. With patho, I felt like there were so many trick questions. Everything fell in the gray area. It just wasn't worded right. And I'm getting, at least from the people that have taken this course before, that it's black and white. They're not trying to trick you. Either you know it or you don't know it, which is probably why you only have 60 minutes to do the 50 questions. Yeah. I don't know if I get to go back on the exam, like click back, or if it's like the patho class that, once you click, you submit, you can't review your answers. So, yeah. Okay, buddy, go ahead. What else did I do? Someone created a study guide, which is really just an outline version of all of the PowerPoint notes, and I started to read that last night. And then there are quizzes that we took, so I'm going to review that this morning, as well as some discussion post questions that we prepared, so I'm going to review that. Yeah, I don't know. I am praying for the best. I really am. Y'all, it is pouring out here, but I will do this and pray for coffee. Alright guys, so I just got to school. Parking situation was a nightmare today. But finally got somewhere. It's like drizzling out, so I have like everything on and whatever. So yeah, I just went over some medications, especially like identifying what classes our med is in, and I'm hoping that it all sticks. I'm going to review kind of the last minute stuff, review all my drugs, and then we'll be taking the exam in less than 2 hours. Alright guys, so I just finished my exam. I did well, so I'm super happy. Everything that I've been doing to prepare, this is Kiri. Yeah, everything I've been doing, I'm probably going to stick with that, and then we'll see. I was told that the exams do get harder, obviously, as we move on to different like systems and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm just happy that it was a good outcome, I guess. And I did change maybe 2 or 3, and I only missed 4. So I need to get back in the habit of not changing my answers. So yeah, super happy. Finally, I feel like I've earned a good grade on my own, and hopefully there'll be some adjustments and I can get some points back. So yay, first exam's out the way. I hope I'm not making y'all dizzy, but yeah, first exam's out the way, so I'll be keeping you guys posted. And it's okay, go ahead. So yeah, first exam with Pharm is out the way. Hey guys, Ann, say hi. She's like eating. Hi. Alright, so we just survived our first exam in Pharm. Super excited. One, that it's over with, that we found out, like, I guess the teacher's style, and like there's a bunch of different do you want to be in it?
Question techniques.
Yeah,
like different forms of questions.
Yeah, different forms of questions. So not only just like black and white memorization, but being able to apply, being able to like critically think what could be interacting with a certain medication or certain symptoms that you're seeing and what could be the cause. Right. So I think with like how I was mentioning earlier in the video, we studied together, we were quizzing each other, then I had that whole freak out moment and I had to leave our study session, but then I did like one-on-one intense, like one at a time, saying them out loud. Then like I mentioned, the group me, just like going back and forth and just like hitting all the key points yeah. And asking like, okay, what do you give in this situation, or what is this drug? I think that also helped. We really stuck to the PowerPoints. Yeah. So again, another class to the lectures, where we buy, I bought my books. But you rented your books. I rented my book. And it's like,
I looked at, like, we looked at one chapter and like.
That was about it. So it's like,
but also
not well
not like much.
Spent.
I know.
I don't know, but I always get anxiety of not buying the book. So whether I use it or not, I buy the book. I don't know. Other than that, the quizzes helped.
Yeah. So yeah, the quizzes did help, and the discussion board.
Discussion board reviewing that helped. I only did one discussion post versus both, so I'm wondering.
I think both of them.
But I did review them both. Yeah. Not.
I think you're just like doing it as a form of testing yourself.
Yeah. And then what else did I think?
The quiz.
Yeah, the quiz for sure. Oh, the fact that they did like checkpoint type of questions in the PowerPoint lecture.
Yeah, I like that. I think that helped us.
So it kind of summarizes like the key points that the instructor is trying to make sure that you're understanding. And then I felt like I saw.
Then you used your studying based on that guiding kind of. I thought.
Yeah, and then I saw I think some of the questions on the exam too, like very similar. Mm-hmm. I'm like, okay, so I do like it overall. I think we're doing good in terms of preparing. I know for me, I have to focus on like some finer details. Like, for instance,
understanding how like food and drug interactions could occur, and what is it doing in the cellular receptor level, or is it affecting like enzyme or metabolism, you know, like just I can say like, oh yeah, I know that, like you don't want them to take that with grapefruit juice, but then
why?
Like when I get the 4 answers, I'm like, oh, everything looks the same, you know? And so I found myself in those situations. I'm like, I should have paid attention more to the finer explanation of certain things that, like, I don't want to say I passively read because I'm like, oh yeah, I got that.
You know, just like even you feel, like, yeah, because you're like, oh well, I understand that already. But then you're like, wait, then when you get to that point, you're like, wait, what?
It's like when it's listed, and I'm like, I know what it is, but I can't seem to understand what you're trying to tell me, which one to choose. I don't know. So I learned that it feels good. Like, I don't know, does it feel good that you actually like earned a good grade?
Yeah.
That's so different than patho.
I know.
Patho, like I legit have PTSD from patho. Exam anxiety was through the roof. Like I didn't know what to expect, and that kind of affected my
studying for this exam,
my confidence, my ability, like just I didn't want to find myself in another patho exam type of situation. Like it's, I don't know. So and it's funny because walking into the exam, I was like, okay, I need to let patho go. I need to let the feelings of anxiety that came from doing patho and how those exams were, how that instructor was, go. It was just really good.
You just have to like, you just literally had to let it go.
Yeah, so like I was praying before I got in there, and I was like, I need to let that go. Like that's like that does not determine how I will perform in this exam and in the future exams and with future instructors. And I realized that was really like a cloud over my head. It was so frustrating.
It was like tainting it almost.
So like, and then going in there and we got a good outcome on the first exam, it kind of just boosts my confidence, my energy, my motivation that we can actually do this. It's always like the self-doubt is horrible, you know, but it is there, to be perfectly honest.
It's real.
It's so real. I'm like,
I think everyone goes through that.
Everyone does.
But it's like, it's kind of a safety mechanism somehow.
I think so too.
But,
and I'm like,
it works out that way.
I don't know. I think moving forward, maybe with drugs, I think we need to start drilling them a lot sooner. Because I feel like the only reason why I got all my meds down was because I was like in like panic mode, and I needed to get it down. You know, like before we started like quizzing.
That's true.
So I'm like, whenever we do the next module stuff, maybe like just take 1 drug per day. Because by that time we'll have like 2 weeks to prepare for the next exam.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think it's the next exam, exams 2 is the first week of October. So we have from today till then to prepare, and we
didn't go over cardiac this week.
No, I know. We
have another class too.
I know. We have some homework for another class to do that's due, and then we have a quiz for this class that's on over cardiac medications, which we have yet to open the PowerPoints and listen to a lecture. So we'll get it done.
We just gotta do it.
Yay, guys. So thank you guys so much for all of the support, all the positive messages. I will say I did see a comment in regards to the nursing pearl. So I obviously welcome your opinions in terms of the video content and things that you want to see, as well as like maybe you don't like a certain video, whatever. So go ahead and just leave that there. It lets me know how you guys are feeling. But for the majority, people have liked it, and my thought process was that obviously these videos will come out when I am in school, so it will provide you kind of like in time, in real life, my journey in grad school now. But I also need to provide content for like, you know, pre-nursing students, new nurses, nursing students that are trying to get through some of their nursing skills, or those that are getting into ICU, or just helping. Most of the stuff that I am putting on those nursing pearls are items or discussions or tips that I'll give someone who, let's say, is a nursing student that is shadowing me, or maybe I'm trying to, you know, help them improve a skill or whatever. So that's just what it's there for. So I will be providing obviously my in real lifetime journey videos. So I do want y'all to keep up with me with what's going on, but I still wanted to produce some, you know, content that will be helpful for those that are just starting their nursing journey. So Yeah. Yay. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you don't, it's all right. Hopefully I have something else on this channel that you would like to to watch.
All the tips are useful.
Yeah, I'm like, no hard feelings. Like, I get it. Some videos are better for certain people than others, but I really do appreciate the feedback. Like always, if you have any questions, leave it in the comment section below. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and share the videos. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Ian.